Hi, welcome to the BA Photography course talk. We call our course BAP for short, so very welcome to all of you. And I look forward to telling you more about the course in this recording. So BA Photography is an ideas-driven, multi-genre photography course which combines practice theory, professional skills and expertise. So one of the things that our course really enables you to become is a great photography practitioner, and you'll be using ideas to develop your work. We want you to be a technically strong photographer, but also really creatively exciting as well. Our approach on our course is really to encourage your vision, your development, and your future. We want you to be able to situate yourself in the world, and we want you to know and understand where your practice belongs. So feeling like you belong somewhere and understanding the context of your practice is a really important part of our course. So let me introduce myself. I'm Julia Peck. I'm the course leader for BAP. I'm a photographer, I'm a writer, I'm an academic. My work specialises in landscape and ecologies. I publish and exhibit my photography work. I'm also co-editor of books such as Disturbed Ecologies, and I also co-edit the Photographies Journal. Our approach on the course, in terms of how we deliver the course, we have lots of really great technical workshops, which helps you to build your technical expertise and to understand a lot of different types of photography. We also support your creative practice through tutorials, and that's really where we have that space both to support you in your individual vision, but also to challenge you so that you become the best photographer that you can be. Our lecture series covers both photography practice and theory, and we're really interested in all of our students having great knowledge of the photography discipline, and we're also really interested in you developing your critical thinking skills. So this is how we deliver the course over the 3 years. A really strong part of our course is in building community. We help you to build a strong and supportive peer group to feel that you belong in this institution and that you have great friends and other peers who are passionate about photography. We also help you to feel like you're being pushed and challenged so that you are actually developing and you can see how you're becoming a better photographer. And we also help you think about and actually situate yourself in the creative community of London. So you're developing those broader networks and contacts as well. So through that, we're able to build a really collaborative and connected community of students who are making some fantastic work. You probably want to know a bit more about the detail of the course. So inside the course itself, you'll be encouraged to experiment with ideas. We really want you to discover your creative voice. We want you to learn those important core skills and also be part of that community. So the skills that we'll be enabling you to acquire include location, studio skills, and also industry software. We also want you to develop your photography skills, your design skills. We want you to be proficient in moving image, but we also want all of this to be creative and fun at the same time. So you'll be having some great fun in the studio. You'll be experimenting with book layout and design and lots of other things in addition to that. In terms of the kind of work that you might end up making at the end of the course, we have a strong emphasis on installation, exhibition, and publishing. You will graduate as a photographer with a strong conceptual practice, and we also really value everybody being a unique individual and knowing what their practice is to them. We also encourage students to work with available opportunities in terms of kind of moving on and having a successful career. And we also get students thinking about whether actually for their practice they need to start something new. So we've also got students who've gone on to form collectives, and that's been a really exciting thing to see, and it's enabled them to become really successful. Our students have really amazing future careers, and that's because we embed thinking about creative practice in the course, and we want this to be a viable future for you. We draw upon our industry contacts, we set you live briefs, We also get you to think about and reflect upon who you want to work for. Because if you care about things like climate, for example, you might want to think really carefully about who you're commissioned by and who you want to work for. But these kinds of questions are really important for each individual to think about on the course. We do treat freelance photography as a viable future career, but we also get you to think about exhibition and publishing. So we know it's different for everybody. What people want to do at the end of the course can be hugely diverse. So we also support students who are interested in working in creative industries, who perhaps also want to work in education, and who are also interested in community practice. Now, one of the reasons I'm showing you Cairo's work here, Cairo graduated, as you can see, in 2023. Cairo's been one of our really successful graduates. He won the Paris Photo Carte Blanche Student Award, which of course is a really fantastic thing to celebrate. But I can also show you Sonny's work. For example, he graduated last year. He started his own DIY zine publishing company, and he started that before he graduated. He sells his work through his website, and he set all of this up before graduation. So part of what we want you to do, and we enable you to do, is actually to think about how to move on before the course ends. You'll have a great plan and you'll started testing things so you know whether your plan is viable for you. In terms of how the course is delivered, we have 3 types of units on the course. We have practice units, and they're, of course, the really important part of the course. But we also have contextual studies so that your knowledge about photography is really good. And we also have those professional practice units so that you are building your professional skills and you're feeling confident about presenting yourself to the outside world. To look at the kind of a bit more detail in how the course is structured, your first unit will be Introduction to Photography. This is obviously about skills and industry, and for this year we actually set an industry brief. We got Nisha O'Keefe from a publishing company to come in and set a zine brief for the students. It's been so exciting and they really enjoyed it as well. With Remix Remake, this is your first experimental module, and you'll also be really undertaking some new approaches in photography. Histories and Context is about building your knowledge of photography, but also your analytical skills as well. So we want you to be able to look at the world of imaging and be able to analyze it, because that's part of being able to situate yourself in that creative world. Photographic Fictions is your next practice unit, really exciting unit. It's about publishing. You'll be making all sorts of books and exploring the book form, also having more industry contact in that particular unit. And then Ideas and Practice is where you start to learn about moving image. And you're literally going to learn about taking some really interesting ideas and visualizing them through moving image form. We'll be getting you to think about how theory can have an influence on practice. So that's year 1. You'll be looking at studio, staging and lighting. You'll be undertaking some darkroom skills, also some writing, and of course you'll be working on portraiture as well. Remember, you will have your first live brief with making a zine. You'll be getting feedback from industry professionals, including people like Nisha. And when she set the brief, she also came back into the unit to look at the student work, to celebrate with them the kind of amazing stuff that they made. And she was also able to award some prizes for the top work that was made. And we can look here at an example. This is a student-made book at the end of the first year. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a really beautiful production. It's also interesting to engage with. And if you have the opportunity to pick it up and touch, you to really enjoy engaging with it as an object. So thinking about year 2, have the live brief. This is another opportunity to work really directly on an industry brief. And this year we have partners externally with Amnesty International, but also Thames Water Trust. So students can choose which industry brief they want to work on. They're learning lots of soft skills, which is, communication, behavioural skills, as well as responding creatively to the brief. It's a really good opportunity to practice situating yourself in the professional world. In expanded practice, that's another great experimental unit. You'll be exploring new forms of photography and acquiring new skills in that unit. And then all of that is supported by thinking ecologies, which is another theory unit. And in that, you'll be thinking about the ecologies of new technologies. You'll be thinking about the ecologies of photography. And of course, you'll also be thinking environmentally as well. In the second part of the second year, you'll be undertaking situating practice, and the focus there is very much on exhibiting and understanding different contexts in which photography can appear. And this is where, of course, you get to consolidate your interest in where you think your practice might belong. And then culture machines, another theory unit, and you'll be really thinking about how images work and communicate in culture. So as part of the second year, you'll be taking part in external exhibitions such as the Copeland Show. This is open to the public. It's a really fabulous opportunity for students to experience making their work for this kind of context. So you're learning new production skills. You're thinking about exhibition design and curation. You're also doing the physical work of installing your work in a public space. And then you get that public engagement as well. It's a fantastic experience and a really strong part of the second year. So at the end of year 2, you will have undertaken some professional collaborations. You'll have exhibited in London, and you'll also have had the opportunity to develop a stronger, unique practice, which is just really exciting. So year 3. This is where it all comes together. You've got major project 1, which of course is really important. You've also got your research project, and this is an important unit. This is where you get to undertake in-depth research that really supports the knowledge base of what your practice is, what it's about, what the topic is, how it's made, methods, and so on. Such an exciting way of thinking about developing your practice. And the second part of year 3, of course, you'll be continuing your major project, but you'll also be undertaking the Creative Futures unit. So you'll be thinking about moving on successfully and really confidently into the world of work. So let's look at some student examples. Jack's work, Jack just graduated last year. His work was very much utilising AI, especially visual AI tools. And he was interested in telling narratives that were critical of colonialism, but he was doing it through fictional forms. And of course, that made using AI really appropriate as a method for his work. The final project was realised as an installation book project and also as a moving image project as well. So really sophisticated, engaging work and very successfully realised. Jack also won a prize from Gost Books. So Stuart Smith is now offering Jack some mentoring now that he's left university. He's got that extra special support while he establishes himself as an artist. Toby's work from the same year group, also really exciting, but couldn't be more different in some respects. Toby's work was about folk culture and ancient symbolism. And he was also interested in thinking about how folk culture and ancient symbolism actually kind of collaborate and exchange ideas with rave cultures. So people going out and experiencing music in the countryside. The photographic images are very large scale. They're about life size. They are analog, so they're made by hand in a black and white darkroom. They were very beautifully produced, and there was some audio work to go with it. Such an exciting project. Toby also made all of the props and the costumes that you see in these images. So really fantastic work from Toby. So by the end of year 3, you'll have developed your major research project. You will have undertaken substantial research. You'll have really built your professional identity. You'll be connected with industry professionals. And I'm really proud to say that our students make some of the most exciting work in the UK, which we couldn't really ask for more of. Many of our students and graduates have won awards and work for prestigious clients. I don't have time to list them all. We have quite a roster of very successful students and alumni. So I'm just going to give you a taster of some people here. So Tammy published her first photo book about her father, and it's also about food and culture and living overseas away from home. This book has been received with great critical acclaim. And Tammy also works commercially. She's working for people like Vogue magazine, and she's also won awards. So she won the Creative Review's Photography Annual, for example. Sylvia is another example of our really successful graduates. Sylvia has a really strong ideas base, rooted again in diaspora. And this time she's very interested in photographic portraiture. So all of these are staged. Her staging is often both very simple and elaborate at the same time. Sylvia won the Jerwood Photo Works Prize in 2020, and she is really successful. She's been really successful in establishing her practice. So Juno is working with ideas of femininity, loneliness, and desire. She exhibits her work. She's been collected by institutions such as the Wellcome Institute and also by Manchester Art Gallery as well. Juno's won the Caitlin Art Prize, Foam Talent, and BJP International Award. But also Juno is working commercially, so she gets paid for her photography, and it's all part of having a really exciting practice. So you might be curious about who's going to be teaching you. I will be one of the people, but I'm part of a really huge, exciting team of people who bring incredible expertise to our course. All of our staff are passionately engaged. They are photographers, artists, or writers. I'll tell you a bit more about some of the individuals in a moment, but we're also supported by a fabulous visiting speaker program. Ibby, for example, is really experienced in sculpture, as is Johnny. Julia's really interested in contemporary practices. Everybody brings something different, including some commercial skills to the course. So I want to just introduce you very briefly to some of our staff. Max Ferguson, for example, is one of our key members of staff. Max has a background in publishing. He's worked for both Granta magazine and also Financial Times. He also runs his own publishing house as well. And Max has produced 2 books so far, including Deadfall, which is on the screen. But also Krasimira, another really important member of our team. She took part in the Venice Biennale this year. Her work is very much around installation, moving image, memory, and it addresses ideas of trauma, but also in a context of politics. So it's very politically engaged work. And then we have Sophie. All of our team members are really important to the course. That Sophie's work is very much about exhibiting, and she publishes as well. So she brings that real enthusiasm for analogue practices. And then amongst our visiting speakers, we have Eva. Eva has incredible experience as a portraiture and editorial photographer. Meta also does editorial, but through much more experimental process. And then Ibby combines sculpture and photography. So we are able to offer students an incredible diversity of approaches to photography. So this is BAP. We really want you to become the best photographer you can be. We want you to understand your creative path. We want you to know the work you want to create and have confidence in who you are. So know that if you join our course, you'll be graduating with a plan. And by the time you finish, you'll already be shaping your future career. I hope this sounds like a great course for you. Do feel free to make contact with me. It will be fantastic to meet you on the course. Thank you very much.